Yeah. Well, 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 look who is with me today. Hey, Steve.
Hey Chan, hey everybody.
It's so funny saying it like in the opposite direction because I'm always
Oh,
used to
that's
do.
right. I didn't realize when you're that's right because when you're on my end, oh gosh, I didn't. You know what? I said it without thinking. I honestly did.
I love it. I love it. I
Yeah,
think that is so funny. Anyway, I love it. It's so funny. Steve,
yeah,
by the way, thanks for stopping by the studio
hmm
today. So
yeah.
Steve stopped over. He's going to be here a couple of minutes. And Steve, I've been on this mission lately to encourage people to earn a couple of extra bucks a month. It could make a big difference. For
hmm
example, people can pay down their debt. People could finally get some of the things they want and not just the things they need. You see where I'm going with that? And
I do.
by making tiny changes. Now, Steve, I want to mention that tomorrow morning's bonus show on my end, I'm going to tell the folks about when I was actually a cleaning lady. Now, folks think of me as, oh, yeah, I'm the former teacher. That's true. I am a former teacher. However, prior to that, I did my own thing as a cleaning lady. I get all into it tomorrow morning. The upload it has been scheduled for tomorrow morning at 9:15. So try everybody not to miss it. But before we get into things, by the way, this is Steve from the Everywhere with Steve Young 74 channel. He has, I'm going to call it this way, Steve, a kind of sort of random channel. You are random, but many times, you lean towards with many similar things that let's say I talk about. But you still keep that door pretty wide open for other subject matter. Am I correct?
I try to. I mean, I still would like to keep my channel as random as possible, but I mean, I am at times at the point to where I'm a little bit more. I hate to use this word, but it's the only way I can think of it, like a little bit more blocked in. But that's not really the word I'm trying to say. Um, but but
I
no.
think I do know what you're trying to say. So I kind of sort of get it. So for the folks that are interested, you won't be bored. The subject matter is always interesting, no matter what the subject matter is. So don't forget to go over to the Everywhere with Steve Young 74 channel. His channel is on camera much more than mine. I would say 99% have chosen to be a purely audio show. I do, get on camera, let's say about once a month for the folks, but I'm a behind the scenes kind of gal, and vocal and audio is for me. That's just the way I am. I'm sorry, guys, for those who like more camera stuff. But in this way, people could, slice, dice, chop, do their laundry, and walk around and whatever. But you know what, Steve? I want to talk to the folks today. You and I have something in common. We were both resellers, and
hmm
we have come across some interesting freebies. Why is it a good idea to find something for free and sell it? I mean, Steve, tell the truth. Wasn't it a lot of fun when you were doing that by quite by accident?
Well, you know, the way that happened is my mom and dad, they knew which areas around town and they knew what day to go, that had the better stuff and the ones that had the not so better. And they would go on and for a few hours a night and just drive around and look. And if they saw something sitting on the side of the road, they'd stop off and get it and look and get it and put it in the car. But then if they're looking and they see, I wonder what else is here. Let's look a little bit deeper. Sometimes they've been known to go into trash bags and then there's more stuff that they threw away that they didn't want people to
Wow.
see. So, and the stuff that has shown up has been from as you would say, from the sublime to the ridiculous. Everything from basically like silver coins, toys, stuffed animals. I don't know,
Wow.
so many different things.
Clothing.
Yeah, vacuum cleaners, clothing, VCRs. I mean, the list is just. I think one
So wait
time
a
my
minute, Steve. Just for those that don't know, your parents were flea market vendors. Am I
yes, they
correct?
were. They did.
Okay.
They sold there for 12 years.
I
And
didn't mean to interrupt. Okay.
another thing that they found that was interesting that was of no good to us because we are not electronics technicians was an oscilloscope. That's what a electronics tech uses to adjust certain things on a electronic component and things like that. So they found
Hmm.
one of the. I mean, like I said, CD players. The list just went on and on and on. Old receivers, cassette decks. Um, I mean, like I said, the vacuum cleaner. It's just a plethora of different things that they found over the years. They found jackets. They found clothing. They found
Wow.
shoes. They had this one time they come across this Coach, Coach, the brand. At the time, I didn't really
Mm.
know what it was. This little dog with a vest on. It was like their mascot. Mom and Dad found it. I said, "Oh, that's probably not worth anything. That's just a thing." So, in looking at it, Dad says, my father spoke up and said, "Look it up. Go on eBay. Go to the completed items." That's where I usually went to find to see what something sold for. So then I saw what it sold for, for other people. Then we took it and sold it and did pretty good on it. I know the amount that come out of it was somewhere around $60. But this was over
OMG.
over yeah, this was over 20 years ago. So here I am thinking this Coach doll or dog mascot, which is I thought was nothing. I made a mistake. I made a mistake that day. And then I had another thing called a billy bass. You press a button, it's a bass that lies flat, the tail flaps, and it talks to you. We had one of those.
Yes.
Um, and then
That's amazing, Steve. Amazing. And what else?
let's see, the only other thing that was in there would have been dog and cat accessories, things for dogs and cats for pets.
Mm.
And that sold very well also.
Wow. So pet related items do well. Clothing can do. I have noticed in my experience when I was a reseller, T-shirts were a thing. I mean, when I was doing it, they were a thing. Have you found that? I think you and I were reselling about the same time period.
Okay, in the case of T-shirts, it also depends on which one it is. It depends on the T-shirt. I think some are hits, some are hit T-shirts, and some are not. It just depends on what it is. Like, for example, I know I've got it somewhere
True.
stashed away. I've got an old. I got it at Walmart. I think I paid 50 cents for it. I know it's worth a lot more than that. It is a MTV shirt, but the logo on it is
Ooh, cool.
MTV from 1984 type logo.
Oh, real cool.
So you and I both
Wow.
remember that time of MTV when it was real
Yeah.
MTV, not this garbage you have now. I'm sorry to tell you, because you couldn't pay me to watch it. So
100%, Steve.
yeah, so if I found that shirt and I took it and put it up for sale, I might be able to make 15 or $20 on it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. And there were some shirts, like for example, when people get them unfortunately, everybody got too into it. It kind of got saturated. Everybody jumping over to the Goodwill, everybody jumping over to the Salvation Army. But
yeah.
there are some rare collectible T-shirts that were just like kind of sort of like thrown out that people didn't realize, like maybe the person's mother or father threw it out or whatever. Maybe it looked tattered and they just got rid of it or donated it to the shop. Meantime, I heard of someone somewhere that picked up one of those shirts and resold it for $400. with like some sort of rock concert memorabilia kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. I can see that. I can see where some rock concert, maybe one-time event thing come through town, and they put out the T-shirt. Yeah, I can see where a couple, $300-$400 could come out of it easily. Sure.
That's crazy. See, here's the thing, Steve. Your parents were willing to take that chance and take a look. And you had mentioned to me in the green room before we went on the air here about a couple of really like upscale vacuum cleaners that people left behind. I mean, they just like left them behind. They just discarded them, and they were workable, and they were upscale vacuum cleaners.
Well, no. Sometimes they were not completely workable. Um, let's see. Kirby vacuum cleaners were found, the ones from the 70s, which were better made, by the way, better quality. They didn't use vacuum cleaners. That's one. There's actually two other brands. Another one is Electrolux. That goes way back. A third one,
Yes.
Rainbow. Now, along the lines of those vacuum cleaners, they would also find Eureka, Hoover, Dirt Devil, Bissell. Your more common stuff that you see that's sold at the store. You would see those as well. But, as far as the vacuum cleaners, it's been from, like I said, from a basic vacuum cleaner all the way up to the Kirby's and the Electroluxes and the Rainbows and all of that. So
Steve, I know. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I personally, for a vacuum cleaner, another brand you can throw in is a brand called Royal, Royal, which is another brand. That's also used in a lot of your janitorial type settings.
Steve, wouldn't it be? Go ahead.
I got one more thing, and then I promise I'll let you have it. If I personally was going to get a vacuum cleaner for myself, I would not mind having a Kirby from the 1970s because of the simplicity of it.
I love what you just said, because I got into that in a different video upcoming during the week, that some people are turned off by like the brand new cars of today. There's too many bells and whistles. A lot of people are buying older car models because of the simplicity. So I do hear you about that. I get the it factor on that for sure. You know what I wanted to say, Steve? Wouldn't it be considered, since both of us are seasoned resellers, a misconception to think you cannot sell broken electronics? Isn't that a misconception? And the answer is, we both know the answer. Yes, you can sell electronics that don't work. You have to do one thing really important. You gotta tell the truth. You gotta tell the truth in the description. Did your parents sell things that were not functional and still make the money on it?
Yes, many times. And let me tell you, one thing about it, there people don't. Now, I know a thing or two about vintage electronics because I used to, reel-to-reels and all of that stuff. I used to, do that once upon a time. All right, for example, a reel-to-reel. That is something that is in high demand. They don't make them anymore, but they are in high demand. There are some models that are worth more than others. Even if you have one that's broken, that is in high demand, you're still going to make some money on it, no matter what. You won't get as much as if it was fully functional, but you'll make some money on it, and you'll.
That's right.
And you'll profit. Well, keep in mind too, if it wasn't for a reel-to-reel, the music that we all like to listen to would not be around because that's where it was recorded. But
100%.
Reel-to-reel, there's certain cassette decks that are of value, receivers. The list can go on and on. I mean, it really can. And the electronics, it really, I feel, has the most demand on it. Some of your 80s electronics has demand, but I would say primarily your 70s equipment. Maybe
70s. I knew you were going to say it.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's right.
It- It's
Yeah.
amazing. And you know something, Steve? Let's talk a minute about reselling of shoes. Okay, like I'm a squeamish kind of a person. All right. So I didn't want to deal with reselling of shoes, but that was a big mistake on my end.
Uh-huh.
And currently, people are buying up leftover shoes or lightly worn shoes, cleaning them up and reselling them, and they're making a lot of money on them. Okay, I can't even believe it. It really, like, especially sneakers, especially oh, what do you call, like those, like rollerblades. There are a whole bunch of shoe items, foot accessories, just like you mentioned, the pet accessories, footwear items, so things related to that. It strikes me that people are making money hand over, and I hate to say it, foot, or hand over fist over. It's amazing, you know. But you dabbled in the footwear at some point for a while.
The only shoes I really ever sold in footwear was two different pairs of Rockports. One was a boat shoe. I liked the suede
Uh huh.
material. I had a pair of leather ones I wore about 6 or 8 times. I couldn't adjust to them, so I
Mm,
sold them. And then I had another pair of Rockports that were like a casual type shoe, and I sold them.
right.
Uh, I mean, I did okay on it. I didn't get what it costs new, but I mean, I did okay on them. Well, Rockport, I mean, I used to wear them all the time. Lately, I don't wear Rockports. Lately, I've gone back to tennis shoes, but Rockport,
Hmm.
depending on what you have, does sell fairly well.
Yeah, I had success with used cameras at one point. I was like into the electronics thing, refurbished electronics and stuff like that. Used cameras, even some vintage cameras that were missing parts. Some people were such avid collectors. They did not care, and they was just so interested in regaining, that object. It's amazing. I could go on and on and on about reselling, and no, you and I would be here like way too long for the folks. But Steve, I want to thank you for being here. Is there anything else you would like to add to this?
No, not right off. I mean, it just, please keep in mind, you know, there's a saying that both you and I know: one man's trash is another man's treasure. So, um,
That's
if
the
you
truth.
if you're ever out and about, no matter where you're at, um, if you see something sitting on the side of the road or something that's being discarded that might be of use, go over and look at it. And if you think you can make something out of it, grab it, take it, check it out, and pretty much go from there. And even if it's not fully functional, you may still be able to sell and get something out of it.
100%. Carry some gloves with you is not a bad idea, and
No.
be willing, to take that look see. One of the most funnest things that I ever found for myself, and I ended up keeping it for a while, was a karaoke machine. I could not for the life of me understand why that karaoke machine, it was in perfect condition. It didn't have a scratch on it. I don't know, maybe the person just got bored with it or something. And I'm like, hey, again, one man's trash became my treasure. I had a lot of fun with that karaoke machine. All right, Steve. Don't forget, everybody, to head on over to the Everywhere with Steve Young 74 channel, and you will have fun there. Just to mention, I go on his show approximately one time a week, but for the remainder times that he's on by himself and talking about some very interesting stuff at random. All right, Steve. Thanks again for coming by.
You're welcome.
All right, everybody, I'm going to click this off, and I hope it goes off properly. So I'm going to try click number one. Hang on, everybody. Let's see if it goes off. Come on. Come on. Now, click number two. I'm going to try for click number two. Come on. Come on. I have to do it this way or we'll be here till Christmas.